Okay. Back where we were, I was asking my 95-year-old grandmother about her spiritual experiences in life. And well, this is an obvious one, but do you do anything out of a spiritual connection?
What?
Do you do anything because of a spiritual connection?
No.
I probably phrased that one kind of wrong. Is there anything that you only do because of a spiritual relationship?
Attend church every Sunday, if possible.
Have you ever experienced a coincidence?
Of what?
A coincidence.
No.
Have you ever had an experience that people would consider a past life memory?
Yes. Did I supposed to tell what it was?
Well, yeah, if you want to say what it was.
Well, I had a dream that night, and it was so real. And I dreamed that God told me that He had a special work for me to do on earth before He called me home. And I said, well, please tell me now. But He wouldn't tell me. He said, no, you have to wait, and I'll reveal it to you. And you'll know when you're doing what God wanted you to do. So I waited, and I checked everything that was different, and I couldn't decide what it was that God wanted me to do. It was trying to tell me, and I couldn't understand. And one night I woke up, I couldn't go back to sleep. And we lived close to a river. And I got out of my good warm bed and put on my clothes, and I walked in the dark all the way down to the river. And it was so pretty. It was how Jesus looked, pictures people would paint of Jesus the way they thought He looked. And I thought there He was sitting on a big rock right out from the edge of the water. And He said, I was waiting for you to come. I wanted to tell you that I have a special work I want you to do on earth before I call you to come home. And I said, oh, tell me now. He said, no, you have to go home and wait and pray and ask God to show you the time that I'm going to tell you what I want you to do. So I waited, and no word came from God of what I was supposed to do. And one time we had a revival at our church. It was a little country church named George's Creek. And the people were so nice in that church. They were so friendly. They were so sweet to everybody. And they came to me and they said, God wants you to remember the little children in your community and bring them to your house to see you and tell them stories from the Bible and read to them from the Bible. Well, I did what the voice had told me, and it was just such a great blessing. And I was always so thankful that I listened and obeyed God's voice.
Oh, that's an experience that I would have liked to hear. But I mean, there's people that think that before they were born, they lived another lifetime. Have you ever had any dreams that led you to think that, or that someone would have thought that? Yeah, I kind of think. Okay, what have I not asked? Have you? Okay. Have you ever had a relationship that you knew about with something metaphysical? Something that didn't have a physical body. But it communicated. It was like a friend or something. But it wasn't physical. It was like spiritual or something.
No.
Coincidence. Have you ever encountered? Well, I guess that would have been my question. Have you ever encountered a spiritual being other than yourself? Well, you just said that other thing. A light inside you, unusual. Have you ever seen or heard anything unusual outside yourself? I guess that's it. I think all the questions have been asked. So I appreciate that, Grandma.
One time what happened was I lived on a farm. We had cows and mules and horses and calves. And I enjoyed those little animals so much. I'd go to the barn and I'd play with the calves. And I got one of them just to be a regular pet. And I'd go pick her some real fresh grass out of the garden. And I'd take her whole little pail of grass. She just loved that grass because it was tender and fresh, and she didn't have to pull it over her face with her teeth. Just chew it up and swallow it. And she was my little friend. And everywhere I went, she followed me. So my mother would say, Mary had a little lamb, but Bertha had a little calf. So.
Have you ever had an experience where it was like animals were talking to you, or
Have I?
did you ever have an experience when it was like animals talking to you?
No.
Or have you had any other sort of spiritual experience?
Well, one time we had a neighbor that I loved very much. She was an old lady, and my mother would let me go to see her by myself because I would walk straight to her house and not stop and not get in any trouble. And so she told the old lady that she would signal her by raising a flag in her yard. And when she pulled the string for the flag to go up in the air, well, it'd get up high and the wind would blow. Well, the neighbor could see that flag waving. And she'd know the little girl was walking to come to her house. So she'd get out in the yard to make the dogs not bark at her and make her get in the house safe. And I just had so many nice little experiences like that where my mother would send me somewhere and she would call the lady that I was supposed to be at her house, and she'd say, now you watch for her, and somebody's coming in the door. And so we had a good life.
What about nightmares, or have you witnessed what you thought was a demonic attack?
No. Have you had a nightmare?
Apparently, when I was little, I had nightmares where I wouldn't know where I was, and I'd like wander around the house or something. I think I don't know.
And it would scare your mother. She didn't make her be worried.